Welcome to another exhilarating episode of Comic Book Straight Talk, brought to you from the secret basement inside one of America's oldest comic shops, Tulsa's own The Comic Empire. Now, true believers, open up your ear holes and get ready to have your head filled with the best comic book knowledge this galaxy can handle. That's right, it's time for another nerd overload with Comic Book Straight Talk.
Welcome back to Comic Book Straight Talk. This is Dalian.
Terry the French Tickler French.
Kenny.
And our special guest star again.
Just Carrington.
We're going to do our top 5 artists and writers of, I guess the last, 10 years?
Yeah, just current.
Current writers, and yeah.
There are legends out there, the Bernie Wrightsons, the Frank Millers, but we're gonna pay attention to current people.
All right, Terry, what you want to kick us off with your top?
Well, I'll just kick off one, and then we can talk about some other ones. One of my favorite is top artist is Jock, especially his Batman work. So that's like one of my first artists.
How many copies of that detective do you have with the Joker?
Oh, the famous one. What is that? The 80s. I don't know. Is it towards the end of the series? Like the last? I don't know, about 5 or 6 of them.
And he's not parting with any of them because I've tried to give him give me one. He won't do it. So
yeah, it's just beautiful. I mean, so.
John Caldwell tried to trade him like a $40 book for it, and he wouldn't do it.
I did give one to. I sold one to Tabitha.
Yeah.
But it was a lower grade one too.
Yeah.
So.
I like Jock. His book he did with Andy Diggle, Losers, when they relaunched that under the Vertigo, was really good. I really enjoyed that. And his Batmans were pretty good, the covers he's done. So
Well, he's done a lot of other different covers too, but
yeah.
just the Batman just floors me.
In fact, anytime Diggle tries to get it, talk about doing a new book, I'm always like, okay, go talk to Jock. Get Jock to do it, and he's like, I try. So, yeah.
Yeah, a friend of ours, doesn't our friend Charles up in Tennessee, he has an original piece by him.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And I don't think he's doing that anymore. I don't think he's doing any
Original stuff?
originals. Well,
I don't think so.
Commissions.
What about you, Kenny?
Well, this will come as a shock to you. Joelle Jones.
Joelle Jones, okay.
If you're not picking up Supergirl being super, you are missing out because the art on that is just fantastic.
And she did Lady Killer.
Lady Killer. Yep.
For last year, yeah.
Yeah, that would be one of my top picks if it wasn't been 2016. We did Lady Killers 2 was in 2016, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. Hopefully this Supergirl story will get her to do more.
Well, now they've got her designing statues, so.
Well, that's nice, but put her on the regular Supergirl book.
Yeah, that Catwoman sketch that she did for some lucky guy at Chicago, man. She needs to be drawing Catwoman or Gotham City Sirens or whatever.
Something, yeah. Well, one of my top writers or artists. I'm sorry, artists. One of Kenny's favorite. I'm sure he's going to have it on there too. Is Mike Allred.
Yep, that was my next one.
His iZombie stuff was awesome. His Silver Surfer's been really pretty to look at. Story-wise, I'm not sure how great the stories are, but
well, if you like Doctor Who, you'll like Silver Surfer.
Yeah, we all know I don't like Doctor Who.
Well, then you probably won't like Silver Surfer.
Yeah, too much. So I'll have to check it out. Yeah, he's got a really nice kind of pop art, throwback art style. So Terry doesn't like him too much, though.
I'm not a big fan. I like some of his writing, but not a big fan of his art.
Well, I just think he sets himself apart from everybody else because we've said it before on here that he's more of a pop artist than he is a comic book artist. But
I mean, I don't hate him. I can read his books, and the art doesn't bother me to where I just throw it down. I can't stand it.
I just think, man.
I think he burns the copies, doesn't he? He sees
Terry
burns
them.
them.
They're probably not near men anyway.
Probably not. No.
I think most of the artists that I wrote down generally lend themselves more towards cover art, but
yeah,
that's still an artist. Go for it. Who you got next?
I have Delato.
Delato's good, yeah.
most recent ones I think was this Venom variant that he did.
Hmm. He does a lot of the Spider-Man. He does a lot of the Marvel artists, the Marvel covers and stuff. Yeah, I think he's actually done some actual book interior art too.
Hmm.
So yeah.
I'm just saying the ones I wrote
Well,
down
yeah,
tend to
I
lend
know.
themselves more towards that. So yeah, Del Otto's one of my top artists.
Cool. Kenny?
Well, I was gonna say Allred, so I'll just skip that and go with Frank Avila. Man, that guy is just awesome.
He's got a dark criminal noir.
Kind of a pulpy type
Yeah.
art style.
Mm-hmm.
Matter of fact, when I first noticed Frank Avila, it was when he was doing the pulp covers for John Carter,
Mhm.
Warlord of Mars.
Yeah. He did the Black Beetle, I believe,
Yep,
for
the Black
Dark
Beetle,
Horse.
and now he's doing the Spirit, and
Mhm.
it's been really good.
Going to be a surprise, but kind of a throwback. Great comic artist or superhero art be Jim Lee. I mean, not much can be said that hasn't already been said about Jim Lee. I mean, he's typical '90s superhero artist, but still, the stuff looks just as good now as it did back then. So
He hadn't aged.
he hasn't
I
aged.
consider Jim Lee to have his own, I guess, school. You know, like
Mhm.
there's the Neil Adams school. That,
Right,
I mean, you still see that in comic books today. Is the Neil Adams style,
right.
and then you had the Art Adams style,
Mhm.
which had more of a manga feel to it, and Jim Lee kind of has like a little bit of both of them.
And you can always tell his characters because they've got like their faces that, I mean, it could be, a clean cut person but still got the lines,
Yeah.
know, and kind of the. But again, it's that '90s.
I guess you could call it the Image School of Art
Yeah.
because Silvestri is very similar to
Mhm.
him, and so is.
That's another guy that
Well,
we should
early
start
on, I
doing
mean,
something.
Jim Lee was a lot like Liefeld. They had similar art style, but Jim Lee continued growing Liefeld's.
Except
still like Liefeld,
except
personally.
Jim Lee drew feet.
Jim Lee to draw feet. Liefeld continues to kind of have the same style.
Yeah.
He hasn't really changed much. Which,
Tried and true though.
Yeah.
yeah. Art Germ. I like a lot of his stuff. I sought forever for this Flash cover that he did of Professor and Flash racing. I finally picked up that copy, and his Batgirl has been pretty popular.
Hmm. Yeah, and what's funny, he did a lot of the covers for the Stephanie Brown Batgirl, and nobody
They
even
were
knew him.
gorgeous.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
nobody knew much about him or anything. He's done a lot of
But that
exclusive
one-
Well,
variants.
didn't he start out at Zenescope?
I think so.
That one particular one is now is being sought after. It's like a $25 book now.
Is that the one with Clayface on her, or with her?
It's in that run. I think this is the one where she's got a little bit of blood dripping down
Oh,
there.
okay, yeah.
And
Well, and he's also doing just a regular cover for the new Robotech comic
Mhm.
coming out soon. So
And it is awesome.
yes, the Minmay. Yes. Okay. Next.
You would be next.
I would be next. That's right.
Right?
No, it's you.
Okay.
I go last.
Steve Epting. That guy, man, just never ceases to amaze me how gorgeous his art is. I mean, his Velvet.
Yeah, I was trying to think what he was doing lately, but I forgot.
Well, now
Velvet.
he's doing Batwoman.
Oh, is he now? Oh,
Yeah.
see, that's nice.
Although someone came in and said he's already left the book, so
I remember back the mid to late '90s. He did. He took over. He was doing Avengers, and you had him doing the art with Tom Palmer inking them, and man, they were just beautiful.
yeah.
And then he left that and did El Cazadar for that series for Cross Gen about pirates, which was again beautiful stuff.
CrossGen was when I found out about Steve Epting.
Yeah.
It was Steve Epting and Mike Perkins both.
Mm-hmm.
And man, those guys just knock it out of the park. And then you had both of them working on Captain America with Brubaker.
Right.
Man.
Oh yeah. So yeah, that was definitely he's a good artist. I have Adam Hughes, my next one.
Well, of course.
You got to have Hughes, and like Terry said, a lot of his maybe cover artists, and Hughes' stuff is just his covers are beautiful, his interiors are really beautiful and defined. So yeah, I like.
Well, he is working on Betty and Veronica.
Yeah, he is doing that.
Just
Yeah.
releasing an issue about every 6 months.
So does that make it bi-yearly,
Semi-annually.
semi-annual? Yeah.
No, 4 kids walk into a bank is biannual every
Biannual,
2
yeah.
years.
I also have on here Jay Lee.
Oh yeah.
Jay Lee. See, and I hated his art when he first came out. I've said it before. When he started doing Namor, because you had John Byrne doing this beautiful art, and then you had the next issue. Jay Lee started. It was all this dark, moody, dirty style, really.
Dirty, really?
Dirty,
I don't think
yeah.
it's,
No,
I don't
but
see it.
originally when he first started his art.
Okay, wow.
Between then and now, yeah, his art's amazing now. But his early
guess
stuff,
not.
I didn't think was that. In fact, it turned me off of Namor. I didn't like it. So.
Well, I could see being turned off by Namor, period. So, but no, I think his art's beautiful now, at least.
Well, yeah, now.
I've
but
even
back
picked
then,
up titles just because he's doing the cover on them.
Right. Oh yeah.
That first run of the first arc of Dark Tower that he did was wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Terry, was that you?
That was
him,
me,
wasn't it?
Jay
That was
Lee.
him.
I picked Jay Lee.
So it's me.
Yep.
Sure.
Okay. Well, this one will also lead into one of my favorite writers, but Jamie McKelvey. And, you know, we've discussed it on here before about how his faces, all the people look different. And then when you see a character from a different angle, you always know who it is because the face looks exactly the same. So, man, there's a lot to be said about that. And he has just a real clean style. I just really like it.
Yeah,
I've been actually going back and picking up all the old phonograms when I find them.
Mm-hmm.
You took Epstein, so I had the next one. I have Benitez.
Yep.
Anything that he's done in Weapon Zero, he originally did, and then Lady Mechanica. He did, I believe he did X books, didn't he? After Silvestri some.
I don't know.
But
I think so.
I know he did some covers, but yeah, he's got a real nice style. So
Wraithborn and
Wraithborn,
didn't he
yeah.
do 21?
I think he did
With
do
Lin
21.
Wayne? Ween?
I think so. Yeah. So yeah,
Okay.
that's.
Well, I put down here Jenny, I don't want to mispronounce her last name. Friesen?
Friesen?
I don't know how you pronounce it, but
Friesen?
I do like her art style. I don't always pick up stuff that she does, but I always am looking at it when something comes out.
And it's like you mentioned earlier before we started recording about the colorist, when that specific colorist is with her, her art just seems to pop even more.
Yeah, I don't know if I didn't have time to look up to see if she did the coloring herself or if she had somebody else. I want to say she had somebody else, but yeah, those early Red Sonja she did in, was it 2013?
Man,
Or
it's been a long
2020? It's
time.
been a
It's been a
while.
while,
Yeah,
yeah.
I don't remember when it was, but yeah, I think that was my 5th one. I mean, I have some honorable mentions, like you said, Adam Hughes, and I have Campbell on here.
See, Campbell's just now. It's where he's become a joker of himself. I think.
Well,
I
he
just- I
was
mean,
around for a long time.
he was
and
yeah.
Then he got popular and just exploded, and now you're like, I kind of had enough Campbell
Yeah,
to a
it's
degree.
the
you know,
same
but-
thing, same
so-
poses, same layouts of all his books. There's nothing different, nothing new about it. So
But I mean, he still does some stuff that I like to look at and enjoy, though. So
Yeah, especially when he draws Mary Jane.
he does draw a good Mary Jane.
well, I think that was my 5. Did you do all your 5, guys?
Well, I have an honorable mention then. Audrey Mock.
Yeah.
She does a lot of covers and stuff for Archie. I just really like her art.
Mm-hmm.
So there's my honorable mention.
Yeah, and my other ones. You said Jock earlier, and you said Eptin. So yeah, I mean, nothing else can be really said about those two. Michael Lark.
Oh yeah, well,
Yeah, he's a good he's a good another
Crime
crime
noir.
noir artist. Yes, and him doing Lazarus with Rucka has been really good. So
Yep.
Oh,
So
top 5 writers then.
top
Yeah.
5 writers. Yep, where we're at.
My first one is it's actually 2. And it's the Luna Brothers.
Yeah.
Just about everything they've done, I pick up and read. Even now that they've started not doing a couple of titles together, they've been doing some really good writing by themselves. So, really interesting storylines, different, sort of out of the box thinking for the storylines.
I think the first one they did that they weren't working together on was Alex and Ada, which was a great series.
They did one of the brothers did Whispers. I think that was before Alex
that
made
was. That's right. It's true. I forgot about Whispers. Yeah.
And that was pretty good.
My favorite of theirs will always be Ultra, though.
Yeah, that's a fun one.
Girls is like way out there. I love that. My favorite though of theirs is Sword.
See, Girls and Sword I think went on a little too long, but
You could say that about a lot of comics.
well,
though.
yeah, exactly. But
Walking Dead.
yeah,
I thought Sword had just the right amount. I mean, it finished up and it was a good story. So that's my first pick for writers.
Guess what mine is? Take a stab.
Stan Lee.
Yeah, right. Ed Brubaker. I'm not gonna say anymore.
So, Miss Brubaker, mic drop.
Yep.
He's actually gotten down. Number 1, Ed Brubaker. Number 2, Ed Brubaker. Number 3.
Ed Brubaker, and then like way down at like 80 is when I start naming people. No.
Brubaker's good. His Scene of the Crime was really good for crime fiction, and he's
Fatale.
Well, yes,
Fade Out.
Killer Be Killed's awesome.
Killer Be Killed, which is his most newest title.
So I've liked everything he's done, except his X-Men run. But that's because I don't care for the Shi'ar Empire
right,
stuff.
and that's
so
it was pretty good. It wasn't as good as his Captain America run though.
right, and he's even said he had 400 superhero stories in him, and he told 500. So
yeah.
But I didn't much care for his early, I guess you call it slice of life type stuff. His independent work wasn't all that great.
No.
Now, he did do a book called The Fall, and that was really good. But that's where kind of you started to see that crime, the hard-boiled crime stuff start.
Who did that, Was it self-published or?
I want to say it was Caliber.
Don't think I've heard of that.
And he seems to be on mark when he teams up with Philip.
Sean Phillips,
yeah.
So you could probably throw Sean Phillips in with the favorite artists, too. So.
Definitely.
I've got Tom Taylor as one of my favorite writers. He did I believe he start off on doing the Injustice video game tie-in book for DC. Then he went over and started working some stuff with Marvel, and right now he's writing the all-new Wolverine, which has been really good. And so he handles action real well, and adventure. So he's a good writer. I enjoyed his stuff.
I don't have anything on him. Excellent. Good choice.
Excellent.
Kenny?
Your turn.
It's your
My
turn.
turn? My next choice was Brian K. Vaughan.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Especially his current is Paper Girls.
Oh, yeah.
It's just been a good read, but his Why the Last Man.
Everything but We Stand on Guard.
I like We Stand on Guard too.
You did?
I liked it.
It was all right.
But
It was interesting.
It started off really good, and then
Mhm.
I didn't care for it.
the way it continued on.
Yeah.
Well, one of my favorite books that he's writing is Saga.
Yeah, Saga.
So I didn't get much into Why. I've read the first by 2 trades.
Why the Last Man is a great read.
But
Yeah, it was. I
Well,
read
and-
that thing all the way through.
well, let's not forget he Runaways
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
for Marvel, which is
Definitely.
getting picked up by Freeform. They've showed the cast been released and everything. So
And they've talked about doing Why the Last Man forever, but they haven't done it yet. And I could see it being done as a HBO or Showtime series, or even
yeah, because there was
I couldn't see it being done as a movie. There's just too much.
an
Yeah.
article out talking about American Gods and Neil Gaiman saying that with the success that show's had early on so far, that he could see them doing Sandman as a TV show instead of a movie, because you could actually take time to do all the story right. And that's another series I think that would be good. Would be Why the Last Man would be done better as a story than as a movie.
And somebody compared
As a TV show.
Paper Girls to the new Netflix series. What was that 80s?
Strange Things.
Strange
Stranger
Things. Kind of has that 80s feel to it.
It
And
does.
it's set in the 80s most of
Yeah.
the time. So
And so like this last issue that just came out this week, I don't remember what number it is, but she actually says in there, I might miss McDL, or I like a McDLT every now and then. So, you know, that's
Oh,
like,
McDLT.
how 80s can you get? You
Yep.
mentioned the
Yeah.
McDLT.
So you know, Brian
Lettuce and
Kevon,
tomatoes.
he hits it out of the park most of the time.
So,
Well, let's see. We both mentioned Brew Baker and you just mentioned Vaughn. I'm gonna go with Karen Gillan. Kieran
Kieran
Gillan. Yes.
Yeah, you stole mine.
Well, that's all right. You two both stole mine too.
Again, especially when he's teamed up with Jamie
Yes.
McKelvey.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So,
And one of
Well, even with Salvador LaRocca with when he, on Darth Vader.
oh yeah,
I mean, they take one of the you know,
and his Journey into Mystery
Right.
run was
Uh-huh.
awesome.
Yep.
I don't think I've ever read anything by Gillen that I didn't like.
No. Probably close to probably. And it was still good. It was better than most of the stuff that was being put out at the time. Was his Young Avengers run?
See, I haven't read his Young
But
Avengers
you know,
run,
there again,
so-
it's it was still better than anything Marvel was putting out at the time. So.
I just remember Heinlein. Was it Heinlein
Mm-hmm.
that originally did
Yeah.
Young Avengers, and then a bunch of other people wrote it after him, so I just gave up on Young Avengers.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, the
No, it wasn't
Hein-
Hein.
it's-
Hein something.
Heinlein or.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Anyway.
But yeah, and actually his current series he's doing
Wicked and Divine.
Wicked and Divine's been real good, and Dr. Aphra has been really good. So I've enjoyed. So
cool.
So, Mark Waid. Just everything that he's doing right now has just been awesome.
there was a time though where he was just like kind of like it seemed like he was just phoning it in
Yeah.
on his stuff.
So,
but yeah.
so his Flash run, I
Mhm.
think, set the bar too high.
Right.
And then, and that's at the time that he was doing Kingdom Come and all that other
Mhm.
stuff, and it was really good. And then it just seemed to fall off. And like the last few years, it seems like, his Archies are awesome.
Yep.
Birthright is good. Champions, surprisingly, was really good. And he's the only writer, other than G. Willow Wilson,
Mhm.
who writes Kamala Khan the right way.
Yes.
So,
Well, and his Daredevil was good. His Black
Oh,
Widow was
yeah.
really good.
again, it seems like it's always gold when he teams with Chris Samney.
Right. Yes. Yep.
Well, this next one he's hit and miss with me, but Tom King,
Mm-hmm.
he was
Are you still holding the grudge
because of the detective.
because of Batman fist bumping?
Yeah, I am. That was actually an all-star, but his detective run. But no, his Vision.
Yeah,
That
Vision
was just
really
Vision,
good.
yeah.
amazing writing. Matter of fact, I've got a lot of listed on a couple of other things as well for him. But yeah, Tom King.
And like you said, his Batman's hit and miss, but it's been really good. I've enjoyed the Button story going on right now.
Mm-hmm.
That's been really good, and I think, and he's actually writing all of it now, so pretty much so.
Now,
Next one for me would be well, you mentioned Mark Waid being doing well. I'm going to say Jeff Johns. He's been away for a while, but him taking Hawkman and kind of taking that character that has so much convoluted history and everything, and just making it, paring it down to the core of the character, and rebuilding him was just amazing. His Hawkman stuff.
yes, but Ed Brubaker wrote the best Hawkman story ever.
Well, that
In
one
issue
one shot,
27,
yes,
yeah.
That
yeah,
one shot
uh-huh.
that you
Yep.
made sure that we all have a copy of.
Yes,
Yep,
yes.
that was a good issue. Yes, but yeah, his Flash run. You said that Mark Waid kind of set the bar on pretty high for that. I think Jeff Johns kind of moved the bar up
Yeah.
on that Flash. So I mean, his Flash was awesome.
And
you're
Green
seeing
Lanterns
and his
were
Green Lanterns were fantastic, and you're seeing that payoff on Jeff Johns's Flash run across everything now.
Yep.
In the TV and in the Flash going on now, in the Rebirth stuff. So yeah, Jeff Johns. Hopefully we get some more stuff out of him pretty soon.
Was Jeff Johns was the one that created the Professor Zoom, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, he did Stars and Stripes. It was his first book he ever did.
Oh yeah, and that book is awesome. I love
Yeah,
that
and I
book.
can remember going to a con and him just sitting there with Stars and Stripes and and everything, and just nobody coming around him at all. And
Well, now he's beating people up.
Yeah.
Yeah. With a stick.
yep. What you got, Kenny?
Colin Bunn.
Bun's a good. He's a multi talented writer. He can write
Yeah.
comedy. He can do horror. I mean, real good.
Yeah, but
Um,
Harrow County, man, was just
mhm.
man. That book is so good.
It's really it's got
And he's got a new book out called The Regression. I
Yeah,
think.
it comes out next week. Yeah.
And that seems like it's gonna.
Well, he did that book Night Watch, too, which is kind of a horror book.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. So.
But when I met him at Planet Comic Con, and I told him, I was like, Harrow County might be the best horror book out there right now, and he said, well, thanks. And he goes, if you think, and I told him that I thought it was really creepy, and he was like, if you think that's creepy, check out Regression. So he's saying that
He's saying it's even creepier.
So
All right, what do you got?
Mark
That's-
Millar.
Millar, yeah.
I enjoy him. To me, sort of like I was saying about the Luna Brothers, he kind of thinks out of the box with a lot of his stories. He did Kick-Ass, and then later on there's Miles Per Hour and
didn't he do Secret Service too?
Mhm.
Secret Service,
Which became Kingsman.
Jupiter's Legacy, Old Man Logan.
Yeah, he was originally running that. He wrote the storyline for Old Man Logan in the comics.
So I enjoy a lot
Taking
of
on the
his stuff.
Redneck Hulks, or the inbred Hulks. and
The
stuff,
inbred Hulks, yeah.
Inbred
Yeah.
Hulks. Yep.
Was that everybody's 5, or does anybody have any honorable mentions?
I got another.
He's got no
You
one.
got another one?
Yeah.
Jason Aaron.
Yep, that was good. My
it's
next
Jason
one.
Aaron.
That guy just seems like he's just another one of those writers that everything he writes is good.
Well,
and his Star Wars had the feel
Mm-hmm.
of the original movies. I mean, when that series first came out and I started reading, I felt like I was in 1977 reading the next chapter in the book, or in the movies. It
right.
was
Well,
man,
he
it was
took
really
a
good.
he took a chance. He was the one that wrote the Jane Foster Thor.
Yeah.
And took that chance. And I think had it been any other writer, I mean they probably could have pulled it off, but I don't think it would have been pulled off to the degree that he was able to do it. So,
Or as long.
or as long, right? So he's really kind of the one that did that. And Doctor Strange
Doctor Strange.
is really good. I kind of was tired of the whole, what is it, Undoing, or where they're trying to get rid of magic, the beings that ate the magic and was trying to destroy all the magic in the first few story arcs. Or the first,
For the longest time, he didn't like magic because they explained everything away with magic.
well, that's true. But Scout.
Scout is still my favorite of his.
Which needs to be a TV show, HBO.
Well, it kind of almost, that Longmire kind of got in a
was-
way.
I had Ed Brubaker as well in my list of top 5, but we mentioned him. So.
Yeah. I had Aaron and Brubaker also. So.
It's funny that none of us mentioned Kirkman. 'Cause he seemed like he could do no wrong for the longest time.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
on
mean,
the
in
Batman title, yeah, he was knocking it out of the park. Definitely.
Kirkman,
Oh, no,
Walking
Kirkman.
Dead,
No, Kirkman.
Outcast,
I'm thinking of
Invincible.
Snyder for some reason.
Oh, Snyder.
Well, Snyder's another one.
Snyder's
Yeah,
another
Snyder.
one.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
probably honorable
Well, yeah.
mention,
I haven't really caught up with Walking Dead, so I guess I didn't mention it because I'm just not caught
You're
up
not
with
missing
it.
anything.
So. But yeah, I mean,
Negan's
there for
back
the
with
longest
it,
time,
too.
I couldn't stop reading Walking Dead. I mean, but then I just got busy with other stuff and haven't caught up with it. But yeah, his Outcast started out really good as well.
Oh, I've got another honorable mention for artist. I forgot all about. It was Jeremy Hahn, the guy that's drawing Beauty right now.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So,
Well, David Hack. David Hack does the covers.
Robert Hack.
Robert Hack, yes.
Well, another one, if honorable mention I didn't mention for artists would have been also, I've got it written down on some other things. I don't know if I'm going to pronounce her name right.
Probably not.
Sonia Decadas. Sonia Decadas. She does Monstrous. The art on that.
Takeda.
Takeda.
Sana Takeda.
That's just
Yeah,
wow,
those.
beautiful.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that art is beautiful. And Eric Powell. None of us
Yeah.
mentioned Eric Powell.
Well,
Also a great writer too.
I mean, we can't mention them all though, but there's so many.
Yeah. Mike Mignola.
No, Terry doesn't like Mignola.
I like some Mignola, but no, as a whole.
I like Mignola's horror work.
Yeah.
I don't think he does superheroes all that great.
He did the Demon pretty good.
But the
But there
demon
again,
is
right? Yeah, it's like
demons
a,
are horror
yeah,
characters.
Yeah.
It's just his art fits. It's like
It
some
has
artists.
it has a genre that it fits.
It fits right.
Well, and another writer that's really good at pretty much anything he's done is Ennis.
Yeah.
We didn't really.
And Ellis,
Yeah.
not Morrison. Not a fan. If you have to have a website explain the book for you, that's pretty bad.
I don't know. Invisibles.
His Invisibles was great.
Yeah.
But it just seems like recently it's gotten where it almost seems like you're missing pages from the story. But
I guess that's all we got then, isn't it?
Well, unless we just want to go ahead and go into, then we can go to the next subject if we wanted to.
just pause it.
And what about you,
Carrington.
Carrington?
Just Carrington.
Just Carrington.
My favorite
Writer.
writer is James Asmus, and he writes the My Little Ponies. And I also like the art by Tony Fleeks.
Yep.
And he does the art of My Little Ponies.
Cool.
So
Yeah,
just anyone involved with My Little Pony.
Yeah, there you go.
All right.
All right. Definitely let us know what your top writers and artists are.
If we missed someone.
If we missed someone, we have the Facebook page, Comic Book Straight Talk on Facebook. Just go and make a comment there.
Yeah, there's so many we couldn't mention
Yeah.
them all, but
And obviously, like Kenny said at the beginning of the deal, we acknowledge the Bernie, Jack,
Steve Englehart,
Englehart,
Variety,
right? Yeah, all
Mark
the
Wolfman,
all the greats we acknowledge. Yes, those.
but yeah, we were talking more about
modern
moderns
Yeah.
that are been doing more work currently.
Yeah. So. All right. Well.
Another team. When we're speaking of teams, Azzarello and Riso, they always seem to knock it out of the park.
We didn't think about them.
Yeah, there are certain.
Yeah.
That could be a whole nother show talking about just
Yeah.
teams that knock it out. of the
Right.
park.
Yeah.
So,
Well, for Comic Book Straight Talk, this is Dalian.
Terry the French Stickler French.
Kenny.
Just Carrington.
Take it easy. Thanks, guys.